I'm Singaporean and I went to school in the US. I studied economics and political science with a minor in philosophy. Went into the finance industry at a very young age and been there for a long time. Came to become an accidental entrepreneur and started to be with SunMoon almost 10 years ago. Accidental in the sense that we actually came in as an investor, and after coming in, I guess the problem was a little bit bigger than we expected, and we stayed on. And now we are here with SunMoon to change it from a different model that it used to be to something that we are trying to achieve. What drives me is trying to have a very clear picture in my mind of what I want to achieve. And knowing that there is this vision in my mind, what drives me is to really go out there and say that it takes a lot of steps to reach to the end goal. And so maybe if I were to use the analogy, it would be one on looking at the rainbow, knowing that it takes a while for you to get to the end, and the end of the rainbow will be that pot of gold. So what drives me is to understand that to go to a destination, the journey will take a while, and it takes something that requires a bit of drive and determination. I wake up every morning and I say, well, today this is what I have to do to get there. And that's probably one of my biggest motivation factor. Well, SunMoon is actually embarking on what I think it was supposed to be, a company that is a global brand. So we're really excited that we're now trying to put SunMoon in that place where the brand is really moving in that direction. So what is a global brand? I guess it's a brand where you can actually bring the same concept throughout the different countries. So let me take an example. Selling fruits was never the norm. People always think fruits come from whichever country. For example, lychee from Thailand or oranges from California. But what we are trying to say is, let's put SunMoon first, that you know where it's from and by who, and then we can actually deliver to the consumer what we think is the best product from the best country and what's best for them. So this is something that we're very excited that we have actually started to embark on, and I think that SunMoon is going to move towards to become a global brand. To attract talent, it's one of the probably most difficult challenges I think a company is now trying to face. I think the talent attraction is really something that companies usually don't focus on, because we focus on trying to get the business going. But attracting talent is the next step that SunMoon is actually focusing, so that we can get the right kind of people to come in. Now, to have the right kind of people, first the company must be clear, what is the purpose of the company? So the purpose for SunMoon is to deliver nature's goodness. We want to have people who think the same way. That means we want to be here so that actually we're doing a job that can actually make people better and make this environment better. So this is something that I hope we can actually have a very clear purpose for people to be attracted to. And with that, then I think with the attraction of the right kind of people, then I think our purpose even gets stronger and clearer. So this is kind of what we hope SunMoon, in terms of our communication, is able to share. By sharing what we are doing and by sharing our vision, we hope to be able to attract the right talent. For our industry, it's not something that is a norm. It's not something that you know that you're going to become an engineer or you're going to become a lawyer. I think for our industry, where selling fruits used to be quite traditional, but our industry now has moved in. You're not just selling fruits, you have to sell a lifestyle. So what we hope to get young people attracted to this is, well, how do you want to have a balanced lifestyle? How do you want to have a good, healthy lifestyle? And at the same time, be able to achieve the things you want to do. So the reason why you want to be healthy is because you want to achieve the things you want to do. And I hope this message will be able to go out to young people who share that view, that getting there is, again, the journey. And how do we get there means we have to stay healthy and fine. And I hope that the young people would look at our industry and say, actually, it has a purpose. It is something that we are just not selling an apple or we're not selling an orange, but actually to communicating how oranges, apples, vegetables, and all the good things from nature is actually helping others to have a better life. Well, when we first participated in the SME consulting program, I think, to be honest, our expectation was a bit lower. We thought it was something that we can engage the students and the students can learn a little bit from us. But what came to be a surprise was actually we learned a lot more from the students instead. And I think that this is really led by how the team and the people behind it in this program were very driven, and they really see that this is an opportunity for SMEs to actually use the students in the right way, where we can actually have a fresh perspective of seeing a problem, or the way actually we should approach a problem. So I really appreciate what they have done, and I'm actually very thankful that we are actually participating in this program. The recommendation has been very useful. I think so useful that we are actually going to be using it as a playbook. So the recommendation is not just something that we're going to keep it in the library and it's done by the students. We're going to use it as one of our playbook in terms of how the brand should actually be using and the strategy that we should be adopting. So we used to have what we call a brand book, which definitely defines like a brand Bible. But with what the students have done, we're going to use this as a playbook. It gives what our people on the ground opportunity to implement some of the recommendations that what the students have done and actually put in place what the strategy should be. So for the plan going forward, using what has been recommended, we have actually engaged our own PR firms to be more involved in using this as one of the bases of how we want to implement the strategy. On top of it, we have taken a lot of their recommendations by actually expanding our graphic design to basically communicate what the students actually have found out, to be able to engage the consumer in terms of what we want to achieve. So I think this is where the plan of what they have recommended is going to be implemented. We have already started to work with our different agencies and our employees. So you are actually seeing this being implemented as we speak, but the results of it will come out very soon. Well, SunMoon's digital marketing effort is going to be like the biggest effort for 2017. It is something that we recognize that the digital media is the way forward. How do we engage not just in terms of communicating what we have, but also engaging our consumer in such a way that they can also communicate back to us what they think our brand should be. So this digital effort is not just a one-way street, it's actually two ways. And this is where we are trying to focus on how do we hear what the consumers are saying. And our consumers are something that we think is part of our brand, it's part of our company's ethos. It's not what we can just do for them. But at the same time, we also think what can their voice of the consumer be. We think this is actually a very big part of our digital effort. Not just what social media going towards them, but actually how this digital information that we can actually receive from the consumer will become a very big part of our program going forward.